Hello everyone, welcome. We are live as per usual here on the Tuesday, and it's kind of like a normal cast joining me because I'm having two familiar faces joining me on the couch once more. To my left, Mod Warden. I'm Mod Shauny, and to my right, Mod Porky. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. I'm sad.
Can we like no, not now.
Well, you asked how I'm doing.
Yeah,
so
okay.
But aside from that, I'm doing great. I'm doing all right.
How about you, Warden?
Yeah, it was a great week. You know, we were able to get some new things out there, and that's exciting.
Yeah, if you missed, obviously today we released RuneScape early access for mobile Android users. Kind of butchered that. RuneScape mobile early access for Android users. There you go. As I know, you need to be members to access it, but that was released today, which is a big step forward. And we'll actually have a member of the mobile team join us later on, so we can kind of talk about that as well. But from a rundown perspective, from what I have on my little pad here, is we're going to talk a little bit about the email address follow-up from Mod Warden. We're going to go into a little bit of Stone Spirits, and you may have seen the dev blog on Monday. We're going to go into a bit more information on that, and then into a mobile early access for Android, and then for the rest of the stream it just says redacted, so I don't know what that's going to involve, so yeah, I don't know what more to say other than that, so I think I'll pass over to Porky, because I think he wants to get the ball rolling with Warden, right?
Well, I'll start with that. So, quick recap, last week, on the Monday we released, that was Tuesday and Monday? I think it's Tuesday. So much has happened since then. We released a message from Mod Warden where we talked about a few things. We introduced Mod Warden, and one of the things in there was also that we opened up an email address where you can send emails to Mod Warden too. We've had an overwhelming response. We're currently over like 300 emails, and it's still increasing. So we've got a lot to plow through.
How's the emails been? Have they been quiet?
I'm very, very happy with how the emails was. Like, I think we had one follow-up from last week who was also asking for the toe pictures. I don't know why, but it seems to be like a theme here. But I think like a solid 80 or 90% has been constructive, and there was a lot of meat to each of those emails. So it's usually not just one ask, but there's a bunch of asks and perspective in there.
So have we been replying to emails then?
Yeah, we're starting to. Yeah, and it's like we're kind of triaging them a little bit, and it's like, okay, which ones do we jump on first? And yeah,
I think it's very good. Thank you everyone for sending those emails. Which camera am I going to look at now?
The one with the light on it, sir.
Yeah, but then I looked at that one and then it switched.
Give me like that.
Exactly, yeah, I give up. I'll just look in that direction. So that's been really good. I think I'm just very happy with all of us that we also are able to like the emails, some of them are like proper essays. Like if I had to write an essay for school, then I would write something that is actually shorter, right? It shows a lot of
passion.
A lot of passion, really. That was the word I was looking for from all of you. So I think that's really good. And now it's up to us to keep replying, keep that.
Yeah. As I was going to say, what's next steps now? So we've opened up this line, which is awesome. So what's next?
Well, the other part was, I just want to kind of recap. Is just, my gosh, everyone was so welcoming, you know, and just I tried to respond to all the Twitters on our tweets on there as well, and give little gems of additional perspective, or little gems of it's like, you know, everyone said finally somebody said something, and it's like, yeah, first thing I want to do is apologize for being silent, because I asked for us to have some restraint. I was brand new guy to the team, but now we can move beyond that, right? And we don't want to be like that again. And so it's just very, very welcoming. Lots of things to respond to. Excuse me, sorry. And that's what I like. And I feel like I now have an open door with everyone.
So there was obviously we mentioned this last week as a maybe. Do we know if the designer video on the monetization is coming out this week? Or what's the plans, I guess, for that?
Yeah, so the plans are, we originally planned for a kind of prepared video, a regular dev diary 4 format, and it's like, you know, I guess this is part of the Mod Warden era, of course, and the feedback we got on we need to communicate, be transparent, didn't feel right to me. and I wanted us to be more live, more in the live hot seat. So we're going to do a live stream on Tuesday, and bring
next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Okay.
Rather than it being a pre-recorded video, just so it's genuine. And if we make mistakes from anything we say, it's like we'll turn around and we'll fess up and provide more context and just kind of get more comfortable in our shoes. MPX shouldn't be a taboo subject, right? Or player support, or duty of care, or account security, or any of these matters. They should never be taboo based.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing is with making it live stream. Obviously, you have that the risk of it being live in that scenario, but at the same time, you're not like answering stuff on a recorded video where you know what you want to say, you know how you want the format to be, so it's very raw in that regard. So I think that's cool.
Matt from the live ops team, obviously we want to go through an agenda of points and make sure we get as broad as we can, and the ones that we miss, we can take some live questions and address them there. And if we don't get all of them, or we misfire on a few things, we'll come back the following week in our live stream and we'll self-correct. The worst thing we can do is go back to being silent, back to not being comfortable, not having the dialogue. So this is the thing we're changing.
Yeah, like we're going to take the questions from like all kinds of including most likely from the email and questions we find.
Yeah, I was going to say, because obviously it's after my time, but is it going to be like, I presume there'll be a questions thread put up where you'll start gathering stuff?
Yeah, we're going to do a Discord channel as well after the stream, so we can kind of continue the discussion there, and we'll have some folks on Discord, and then we'll just keep pulling the information, trying to address these points one by one. If we don't still have enough meat, we can try and come back to the table with some more things. But I'm really excited that Matt from the Live Ops team is going to be able to share some of the next plans. And like myself, I would like to see him have that open dialogue with the community as well.
So it's definitely, there's going to be some naysayers who may say this is all talk. I presume you want to make it all action, correct?
It has to be. Cool. It's like if we don't do that, then that's the fail condition, right? And that's what I'm setting out to change.
Awesome. Unrelated, well, actually kind of related, but do we know who's hosting streams from now on?
We're going to figure that out. Okay. I think I'm a huge contester at the moment. Or alternatively, of course, we've got Mod JD as well. Okay. So we will have like a fight behind the scenes, and then whoever wins, we'll get the honor of presenting the streams.
We can televise that fight.
We can maybe actually sell it and raise money for charity or something with it, like you see a lot of content creators do on YouTube and stuff.
I forgot to mention, obviously, with this stream, with next week's stream, obviously, of course, it'll be TLDW. There's always, either Rubik or Suity who do that. Am I right in assuming that you'll do responses and follow-up on those posts like that, or?
On the MTX?
On the TLDWs and stuff. I know we have the Discord, but
exactly. I'd like us to not just leave it in Discord or on a live stream, that we get it in a print format, and we're going to kind of figure out what's the best way, whether it's a post or a FAQ, a bit of both, but we can look at all of those.
But the stuff we are trying to figure out what's the best way, what works for everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Get those stakes in the ground, right, and then build something on top of it.
Yes.
So I think, is there anything else we want to clarify? Because I think it was really good, obviously, to get you on stream to kick this off, just to see where we were in an update, and obviously the announcement that we're now doing a stream on monetization, not originally a designer diary, now a live stream for next Tuesday. So have we covered everything else there, or are we all good?
I think just to be clear, like we said, next week, that means that it's not actually this week the video. It's not going to be a video.
Exactly.
It's going to be a live stream.
Live on Tuesday.
Live, yes.
That's right.
Just to be as transparent as possible, right?
Awesome. There's a reason why the camera's not centered, because this couch will probably get more people on there. So John's kind of accommodated for the inevitable more people to appear on the couch. Sorry? No, I'm just reading the chat, and I'm responding to the chat. It's fine. It's all good. But yeah, I think apart from that,
was there anything that you think I didn't address last week, and hoping that I would? Does anything come to mind?
Well, okay. I mean, fair enough. My biggest concern would have been following up from this, and I feel like Hi. Following up from this, but the biggest thing for me now is, like I said, kind of like what the chat said, really. Now, you know, it's all about those words, but now it's turning that into actions.
That's right.
And you seem very confident in doing that, and I think that's the best way to have it. So
yeah, exactly. I don't want to.
Asking to zoom in even more.
Can we
John?
not, please? Honestly.
Sorry.
Yeah, good. That's the peak zoom right there. Jeez, can we not like give our viewers motion sickness?
What, you mean like this?
No, please don't. But yeah, no. From me personally, the biggest thing that was for me was the follow up from there, because obviously the video not going next week. Okay, it's next week, but then what if it doesn't happen next week? But now you're committing to a stream. I think that's a very strong step.
It's going to happen on Tuesday.
It's going to happen Tuesday.
It's going to happen on Tuesday, and it's like I'd like Matt to get into more specifics and address some of the core issues. You know, it's like, hey,
when you say Matt, just clarify mod mic, right?
Mod mic. That's
cool.
Right. Yeah, and that he can, address some of the things around Treasure Hunter. He can talk about things like how we're putting promos in front of people, the imbalance of this versus that, concerns over over use of XP and breaking the game, and things being unbalanced. These are the kinds of things that I'd like Matt to chat with everyone about. And it's like not just what are we going to do about it, but what are the next steps as well. And then some of these things are going to be relatively easy to get in the pipeline. I think everyone saw some adjustments to Treasure Hunter that was very cosmetics focused.
The cap promo, the Musketeer.
That's right.
Yep.
And so I thought that was pretty good. Do we expect more of that? Do we expect to totally change? What I foresee is a future where we're going to try out some new ideas. Find some ones that we're going to hang our hat on, and then we've got some other ways that we can diversify the business around. I don't want to steal that away from them, but
no, of course.
But that's what I'd like Mod Mike.
Well, yeah, but maybe you can outline that next stream, for example.
Exactly.
That's you have that opportunity. Oh, Jesus, what's up with the cameras? Good Lord.
Oh, we have.
Jeez. I think apart from that, I think we're all good on that section, and we're happy.
Absolutely.
John, I swear, it's weird looking back on that. It's like, oh, camera right up in my face. But yeah, I think, first of all, Mod Warden, thank you so much, as always.
Of course.
And look forward to next Tuesday in particular.
That's right. Enjoy your fam.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Alrighty, let's get Mod Jack and Mod Shogun over here, please. Because on Monday, or yesterday I should say, we saw the release of a dev blog for what I consider to be a contentious topic, let's be real, like Stone Spirits.
No, everyone loves Stone Spirits.
Everyone loves Stone Spirits,
sit next to me.
Stone Spirits at the moment. Oh, I see.
Nobody likes me. It's exactly the same last
so
week.
bad.
It's like I was even preparing a mic for you.
I can see
might want
you
to grab
from
the
here.
mic.
If I was sitting next to you, I wouldn't be able to see you.
True.
Yeah, grab that microphone just behind you. There you go.
I'll take those off, isn't it?
Alrighty, so let's first of all dive into the dev blog. So if you can, as a quick recap, what did we want to get out of the dev blog for Stone Spirits?
So I mean, the point is to just announce the changes that we're intending to make so that we can gather feedback on them. So you've implemented the changes, but they're currently waiting on QA, I think.
Yes.
So they can't go live just yet anyway. They're not like sitting ready to go live. But they have been implemented. But we thought it was a good opportunity to just explain what we were trying to accomplish and
gather feedback.
So that if we did need to make some changes before it went live. And I would say, I suppose I should reiterate what it actually contained first, right? Let's
summarize
So the
that.
two major changes are a huge buff to the components that Smithed Gear will give from a flat 8 per item to 3 per bar, which equates to, what was it, like
480?
480 for an Elder Rune plus 5 play body, which is a big, 8 to 480 is I think the largest buff we've ever done.
Small buff.
We've had some initial feedback on that already, and I'll get to that in a second. And the other one is a big nerf to completely AFK mining. So at the moment, you can mine completely AFK at around 40% effectiveness. So whatever your maximum rate of mining is, you can get 40% of that completely AFK, and you just need to move the camera to prevent the AFK timer. And that's resulted in people just farming with large numbers of ults. So we're nerfing completely AFK mining. If you mine semi-actively, as in you click about once a minute or once every 30 seconds, it won't really impact you. The nerf is incredibly tiny in that case. If you mine completely AFK, only clicking every 5 minutes, then it's now dropped from 40% effectiveness to around 10% effectiveness.
Do we know so the percentage, just to clarify, so if I have a perfect Juju Potion and Stone Spirits, that's not affected whatsoever?
That won't be affected, that bypasses it, because so the way it works is that if your stamina bar is empty, and we got a good bit of feedback, which is because the stamina bar is hidden by default, that's going to be more confusing. So we need to put some better feedback in to explain why you're not getting very good mining rates. But either by showing the stamina bar or by showing some sort of message or something. So yeah, that was some good feedback. But yeah, so if your stamina is 0, that's when you go completely AFK. At that point, your rate of progress while mining is hugely lowered. If you've got a perfect Juju Potion and a Stone Spirit and a pile of Stone Spirits in your inventory, then your stamina refills every time you get an ore.
Correct.
Yeah, each time you mine an ore.
So that means you won't drop to 0 stamina, which means that the 0 stamina penalties won't kick in, which means that you can completely AFK mine if you bring a big pile of Stone Spirits with you. Which is good, because what we want to do is increase the value of Stone Spirits.
This is for full AFK only as a nerf, in essence.
It will have a very small effect on people who are playing quite casually, but not completely AFK. Yeah. If you're playing I mean, the way I play is I just click opportunities.
Okay.
And that will refill your stamina frequently enough that you're not being affected very much by the nerf.
So it's each swing you do will lower your damage further. So the more swings you're clicking again, will keep on lowering it. So I think it's 20 swings, and then you got the lowest possible. So as long as you keep up to date with the full damage, etc., you should be fine.
So do we know about, I'm presuming we've done XP an hour, or ores gathered an hour, I should say. Do we know how much of a change it is if it's just full AFK on the ores perspective?
It will be about a quarter of what it is now.
Okay. So obviously if you do Animika, you're not going to,
I have a spreadsheet where I look it all up. I can't remember what the numbers are off the top of my head, but whatever your current rate is, it will be a quarter. We've also changed Stone Spirits, so none of this affects Stone Spirits. So Stone Spirits will actually be slightly better than they are now, because right now Stone Spirits are affected by stamina, so you only mine them at about 80% effectiveness. We're going to, we'll be removing stamina from them entirely, so Stone Spirits actually get a slight buff.
You mean Saren?
Sorry, Saren Stones. Everything I just said, except Saren Stones, not Stone Spirits. For some reason, I've got Stone Spirits on the brain. I'm not sure why. It comes to me a lot.
I mean,
seems like an important topic.
There's been comments from the blog going out, and Stone Spirits continues to dominate.
Yeah.
So what have we gotten from it?
I would say the feedback on the blog has been negative. There are a few people complaining about the mining changes, but not a significant number of people. Mostly, I think the negative hasn't been what we're proposing to do. It's that they want us to do more.
Yes.
In particular, they want us to buff some or all drop tables.
I swap them out for salvage and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's got wrapped up. Stone Spirits have become kind of emblematic of, I killed a boss, I got a drop which is either significantly less than the average should be, or not enough to cover my expenses for that kill. And Stone Spirits have become emblematic. Stone Spirits are not the only drop that are like that, but they've become sort of the poster child for,
I think
my drop wasn't valuable.
But that obviously that ties into the fact that Stone Spirits drop from pretty much all the top tier bosses where you are expending more. So that's when it's become a bit of a problem, obviously. Like you want to do a high enraged Talos kill and you've just put in a lot of supplies to get like 100 Addy or Runite Stone Spirits. It's a bit like, okay. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
So,
and that's, the thing about when we launched them is like, it's kind of a complex design question of whether or not should changes to the value of items be accompanied by a change to the things that drop those items in order to maintain the value of the drop table is, I think, not a question with an obvious answer. So for the most part, we change things in game. We introduce a new source of something. Say a new boss comes out and it drops herbs very plentifully. That causes the price of those herbs to drop.
Yep.
Do we then need to go back and change all the other drop tables to improve the drop table to drop even more of those herbs, which of course will lower the value of herbs even more? I'm not saying we definitely shouldn't do that, but I don't think it's as simple as, just every time the value of anything is lower, we just replace it with raw gold, which is effectively what's being asked of us, I think.
So I think just to put a full stop to this right now, just to clarify, do we see anything changing from what was proposed in the blog?
We thought we're discussing increasing the components even further. So there's been a concern that although the components have been hugely buffed, the components per bar are quite good. the components per time are quite bad still, because smithing items take so long to make. So we're going to need to discuss it. We're going to need to discuss the balancing. The thing that makes that complicated is if we increase the number of components per bar, that makes the components per time go up.
Yeah.
But that makes the components per bar go up as well. So now components are quite good GP value, even though
they don't
time
have
is still quite bad. So and that's complicated. So we could fix that by speeding up smithing. But as you were commenting earlier, smithing is very, very fast now. I think like most people probably aren't doing smithing very intensely.
From it depends on how you want to. Like if you're gonna semi AFK with coal, then it's okay. But if you're gonna one ticket with cape and superheat,
it's just ridiculously fast, right?
Yeah.
So we could make smithing faster if we make smithing. There's a delicate balance of XP per hour and gold per hour and XP per gold, and all of those three ratios have to sort of be within a sane limit, and buffing one of them causes the other two to fly crazily off.
So that's the smithing side of it. So just to pull back to stone spirits, just to clarify, as it stands right now, is it nothing changing so far, or?
I think the feedback that the outstanding feedback that we have that players feel like isn't being addressed is, are we going to buff individual drop tables to make them better?
Correct. I value for.
And I mean, that's a much bigger job than just the changes that you've made are sort of systematic changes to how stone spirits work. Changing lots of individual drop tables
takes a lot of time.
Is a very time-consuming project, and so that's why I phrase it in terms of essentially the feedback that we've received is, and how we kind of have to interpret it is, these drops aren't valuable enough. Please fix that, Jagex, and that we'll have to look at as a project that's a relatively large project. It's relatively it's so replacing an item on a drop table is a very simple coding change. What should be replaced, what it should be replaced with, how much of it should be replaced.
And the long-term effects.
That's not a simple balancing problem. That's a complicated balancing problem. Yeah, exactly. So we have heard that feedback. We are listening to that feedback. But what, if anything, we do with it, we'll have to just evaluate against other.
So I did mention salvage earlier, but I mean, did we get into what? So if we, say for example, if we were to just replace it with salvage. It's not as simple as that, correct? So it's easy just to replace a table.
We could at a technical level, we could just replace.
Yes.
Stone Spirit, Tiny Salvage. That would be a staggeringly huge buff to all drop tables. It would be enormous, the amount of gold, particularly because of I guess we could replace it with a kind of salvage which is worth less than a spring.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't be able to auto-alk it using the spring cleaner, but then you'd probably just leave them on the floor. So that would be even worse. So if it's something above the value of a spring, that's a huge buff. If it's something below the value of the spring, that's a nerf. It's not as simple as just replacing the object. That's why we're trying to, at a systemic level, what we want. We don't want PVM drop tables to. We don't want PVM drop tables to feel bad, right? We don't want that. That's not something we want to.
But at the same time, it's not easy, is it? This is the problem, unfortunately. We've had this conversation.
Absolutely. Multiple times.
Many a time, regards to, obviously, the complexity. We've had changes through the year happen ever since Minus have come out, where we tweaked some drop tables and added higher tiered stone spirits to some bosses and so on and so forth. But
and that's completely on the table. When new content comes out, where that can definitely have higher tier things on it.
Yes.
So to sum it up, there's a lot of feedback. We are listening and we are figuring out what we want to do.
Yeah, it's a separate There's no reason that feedback doesn't mean that we can't make these changes. Whether we need to make more changes in future is kind of a drop tables question that we have to address separately, really. Because it's a lot of individual work to update individual bosses.
We are always up to continuously listen to feedback, and if this is enough, we can fix it later on, add more things. I think we rather want to fix the root cause of stone spirits being low value, instead of just swapping out for pure gold or just making stone spirits better than what they are. The root cause is that ores isn't used up fast enough to demand the stone spirits being used. So if we fix that problem, stone spirit goes up in price, everyone's happy. But it's just trying to fix that problem is the big task.
Just so I understand this, so in essence, hopefully taking it one step at a time, the change to full AFK mining will hopefully encourage more stone spirits to be used for semi-AFK mining. Am I right? Am I right in perceiving that?
It reduces it. Hopefully, and the problem with the economy is you can't ever predict it accurately.
Correct.
It reduces the number of alt accounts which are just farming ore continually. And also it encourages, so you can still run 10 alt accounts, I mean you shouldn't, but you can, if they're all equipped with stone spirits, which is great because then that increases the demand for and market for stone spirits. It shouldn't be particularly effective to do that.
I don't want to put a time frame on that, but so whenever this update releases, how long do you reckon are you going to give it before you maybe, for example, reassess and then decide what you're going to do next, for example?
That will be a continuous thing. Us, both me and Jack, we continue to look like a Reddit and Discord for smithing, so we always listen to feedback about it. So it's not we try to stay hidden about it, but
I mean, nothing we're doing here is going to make the value of adamant stone spirits suddenly skyrocket because adamant stone spirits still aren't going to be super valuable regardless of the changes that we're making here. That's just more a question of like, if there's a drop table that has adamant stone spirits on it, how is that boss? Is that boss good? Is that boss profitable? If that boss is profitable, then there's not a huge argument to be made for just buffing the drop table of that boss. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not to say we can't do it, but an argument would have to be made and time would have to be allocated and say, like, you know, the best use of development time we have is buffing this.
It's just not. It's tough, right? Yeah, like
it's just tough.
But you know, we'll see where we go from there. Obviously, we don't have a release date on that update because it still needs QA, correct?
Still needs QA, yeah. And any changes that we're not close to making changes. What the point I'm trying to make is effectively like, there's feedback that affects the work that we're doing here, and then there's feedback which is kind of a separate job which would need addressing in its own right.
Gotcha.
And we're not ignoring that feedback, but we can't address that as part of these changes because it's not really the same job, if that makes sense. It's not the same node, it's not the same work. It's its own big bit of work. I noted down some questions from the stream that people were saying.
Go.
Something people suggest is that Stone Spirit should buff smithing. The problem with Stone Spirits buffing smithing is that, like, from an economic point of view, ore is just smithing XP with a step involved. It's like a bag of smithing.
But they would use it. I mean, if you're gonna, if you want to
But we want the source of like the raw materials that give you smithing XP should come from the mining skill. That was part of the point of the mining and smithing rework, because it just wasn't cost effective to mine before, because if you wanted rune, you just got it through PVM. So the point of the rework is that ore, which is the source of smithing XP, should come from the mining skill. If the combat drops effectively smithing XP, then it might as well just drop ore. The point of Stone Spirits. Now, I'm not saying that Stone Spirits don't. I don't want to create the impression that we're not willing to change. Like, okay, like in concrete terms, we probably won't implement another Stone Spirit style thing until we can work out, like, for sure that it will be more successful than Stone Spirits, right? We're not like, oh, Stone Spirits are fantastic, let's put loads more of them into the game for woodcutting. That's not where we're thinking. But the point of the original concept of Stone Spirits is that they allow a drop which helps you to get ore without just allowing you to skip the mining process. And if Stone Spirits work directly on smithing, they would skip the mining process. And that's exactly what we're trying to avoid in the first place.
Could you, I mean, I'm sure you've thought about this, but what about like smithable salvage with Stone Spirits? Is that a thing? Could that be a thing?
Well, it would be, even as in just convert Stone Spirits into
or needing, like, in some way, Stone Spirits to make salvage, because then you bring up the value of the Stone Spirits, because obviously of the salvage, out value, or I don't know.
If it didn't, I'm kind of... Yeah, the problem we've always had with smithable salvage is, like, the ore per salvage and the time per salvage. Yeah, I quite like that. I'm going to write that down.
Hey, how about that?
There's your final contribution. and a good one.
There you go.
I don't know, I can't promise anything.
There'll be discussions afterwards.
I can't. Off the top of my head, I can't see a huge problem with just converting Stone Spirits into salvage. I mean, it doesn't really make any law sense whatsoever.
No.
It's nonsensical, right, from a law perspective.
Oh.
And that's
been a problem before.
No, that is an issue, because it's like, what's the best way to get components? Oh, you need to kill monsters to get these bottles with fairies in them that you just convert. Like, at that point, we might as well just let you disassemble them, right? Like.
All right. Well, there we go. We got that's cool.
I'll investigate it and see whether.
All right. Well, fingers crossed we can provide an update.
MVP.
But I mean,
someone asked why are you nerfing the only money making skill, which I assume was a reference to nerfing mining.
No, PVM.
As in Stone Spirit drops, PVM money making skill.
Oh, was that what?
Yeah, that's the reference to it.
Oh, I thought they were asking about mining. Okay, sure.
Yep.
And some people were just saying you need to make smithing faster so that. Like smithing doesn't consume enough ore. Mining is producing more ore than smithing consumes.
I agree. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, though, right?
And that but the problem there is at the smithing end. Well, sorry, it is at the mining end because mining is producing too much, which we're addressing.
AFK
We've already made a lot of changes to smithing to try to increase the demand of smithing. We doubled the effectiveness of armor spikes, and we made it so that you could AFK smith a bit more effectively.
With
so you
the
can make multiple items and
heater.
queue them all up and make them all at the same time. That still hasn't made... So, like, if you think about herb lore is just must-have. No one complains about, like, oh, herb lore's not valuable, so herbs aren't valuable. Herbs are still... Their value goes down because they're oversupplied. But, you know, you want the herb lore skill, right? And smithing just isn't in the place where it's just considered must-have. I don't know whether that means we need to buff it further. I don't know whether we just say it's a failure. I don't know whether, like, maybe a new piece of content in the future requires smithing, and thus the smithing skill justifies its existence that way. I would say I'm not happy about, like I don't consider that a success. The point was to make smithing desirable. I don't think we succeeded at that. I'd like to try to readdress making smithing desirable. I've got, like, essentially I've got the PVM community saying, forget about it, it's failed, just give us gold, right? That is an alternative approach. We just need to look at, like, the game economy as a whole and try to make decisions on that basis. We can't just, like, putting gold on drop tables just kind of skips all of that, you know?
I mean, you could have an entire stream on this, but I mean, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's good discussion. I mean, we had some pretty awesome discussions and ideas to come out of it, so I'm happy with that. But all I will say is that obviously keep giving your feedback on this, even more so on TLDWs and either on Twitter to @JackX or @Jack Shogun. And I believe they're both checking Discords as well, so definitely check that as well. So I think for that bit,
there are a number of people wondering why on earth I'm doing this in the first place. So I'd be glad to know that my job now is actually working on quests and lore stuff. It'll be Timbo mostly who'll be handling this sort of thing.
Gotcha.
So,
cool. So Jack can't nerf any more stuff. Be happy.
All right, thank you guys.
I'll be nerfing them instead.
Alrighty. So next I'm going to talk about mobile early access, which is very exciting. This section I'm going to kind of throw to Porky to kind of get talking on this one because he's been involved in early access for mobile quite a lot.
We're going to couch more Hypnos.
We're going to introduce a new mod to the couch as well, which is always good.
I've already revealed the mod name now.
Oh, yours, sir.
Oh, thank you. You did. There you go. welcome, Mod Hypnos.
Wonderful to be here.
Yeah.
On Portney.
I saw you
Mod Shauny.
thrilled with excitement.
I'm always thrilled with excitement,
That's
especially
true.
when it comes down to what we're doing with RuneScape Mobile.
Oh, mate. Can you tell us a bit about yourself first, then?
Yeah, so I am Mod Hypnos. I am the product director for RuneScape, but there's two very clear things that I've been working on within the last year and a half while being part of the team. One of them is getting mobile to the state to where it is now and making sure that it's great and playable and accessible to everybody in the world. The other part of it is being the leader of the core experience team as well.
Cool. Sure. I was just enjoying the chat. You got a lot of positive comments there. It's always like when you first join, you always see like very different comments. You get like a lot of good comments there. I like it. I had like very different ones, which is pretty cool. I find it funny, just like a bit of engagement. All right. Thank you for that. Shall we then go on to what we talked about, what we released today?
Sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. And today's a very special day for us actually because what we've actually done is give RuneScape Mobile to the world, with and is accessible for our current members that are actually playing RuneScape now. And it's been great because we've gotten mobile to the point where it is now worthy of RuneScape and worthy of mobile. And then we're happy about this build, and we decided, you know what? Let's give it to our members because they've been asking for it. They deserve it, and we want to make sure that it's at the greatest place it could possibly be before we actually go to a full launch. And I think one of the most important things is to get as much feedback as possible from all of the members of RuneScape who have access to this build, so that we can make it the best possible experience for RuneScape players.
Yeah. I'll plug the feedback stuff. I like that. We've got dedicated feedback forums for it as well. We've got a Discord channel. And of course, we cross-posted it to Reddit, so feel free to leave your feedback on there as well. We'll take it and process it, right? We talked about making it accessible for all Android, for all members. Currently, it's on Android only. I'm not going to make a mistake like I did last time, so going to be very careful. We wrote tonight a message about iOS, and I'll let you take it from there so I can't make any mistakes.
Sure.
I'm staying away as far as possible from this, you know?
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. One thing I do want everybody to know is that we know it's on mobile, and we do know that there's a very large portion of our user base that are obviously using iOS. Yeah. And it is extremely important to us, and we have not forgotten about you guys. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure that that experience on iOS is as best as it can be before we actually go to a full commercial launch, right? But to do that, we want to make sure that we have the resources in place to build out the stability that we want, to make sure that it's definitely still accessible as the Android version. And we are working on getting it in the hands of players. What I can't say is the time specifically, but it is very much one of the highest things on our priority list for sure. Because of course, and as we see the chat scroll up, iOS, it is something that we are definitely not ignoring, but again, I do want to make clear with everybody that it is definitely something that we're working on, and definitely one of the things that are highest on our list to be able to deliver to our user base.
Which means, year? Or?
Well,
I'd just like to say that, okay?
So for sure, we are going to launch on both platforms. I think that's something that everybody should know and be aware of. But what we're doing is we're actually trying to figure out a way, and a good way, and even a fun way to get iOS and the build that we have on iOS available to at least some of our users. Because not only is it important to actually get the feedback from our current existing user base that are playing on Android, but it's very important that we also get it from our iOS user base as well.
Cool. So I mean, like that could involve test flight and stuff like that, right? Fingers crossed, obviously. I mean, I don't know if you can answer it, but I mean, it's not just as simple as obviously moving the Android build over to iOS. Is there anything in particular you can get into as to why iOS is taking longer, or?
Yeah,
I mean, not to obviously throw that pressure on you, but just curious, I guess.
No. It's totally fine. I think with iOS, there's with Android in particular, there's a certain there's a certain like flexibility there. When it comes to Android, with iOS, in all honesty, what we want to do is match what the player and the user actually expects on that platform, and that expectation is obviously very high. We want the build to be clean. We want the build to be stable, especially. And once we get there, I think we'll be comfortable enough to be in a place where, hey, this will be ready for kind of like a mass audience, right?
Cool. All right. So 2 things from chat. One is regarding the Founders Pack. For people, if you log in and if you log in on mobile, you've not had the pop-up. For whatever reason, if you press the home button in the top left, and then you've got 4 icons, the second one from the bottom, it looks a bit like a shopping cart. Why do I know all this?
It's good.
It's good, as if I rehearsed it almost. If you then press the shopping cart, you will have 2 tabs in the left, and you need to press the tab Founders Pack, and that's where you can claim it. We've got rewards for day 1, so when you first get there, for after a week and after 30 days. If you come back after a week, you can get a bit of double data keys, and you will get 4 large protein packs. And if you come back after 30 days, you'll get 15 keys and a lamp chest as well. That's one bit. The question I was initially going to answer was, I'm just rattling off my things, I'm loving it. It's like I've not got the pop-up, and then I just went into the marketing stuff. I like that, I'm good at this. I should go into marketing maybe.
The question?
The question was like, how do I claim my founders pack? All right, just having fun. The second one is about a couple of saying like, well, I do meet the minimum specs. Why can't I play? Are you able to take that? You phrased it very nicely to me earlier.
Yeah. No, and I can speak on that a little bit. And so what we're doing now is making sure that the experience for the RuneScape Mobile is as best as it can be for as many devices as humanly possible. Now, how we're measuring that is to ensure that there is a place where users can feel comfortable about what they're playing. So they're actually playing RuneScape and feeling that the world of RuneScape is presented as best as possible, right? And that includes things like frame rates, crash rates, and things like that. So the other thing that you guys should actually be aware of is, as you know, on the back end, we're continuing to optimize the game as much as possible, because what we want to do is we want to make it so that there are no limitations when it comes down to hardware. We want to make it so that RuneScape is accessible to everybody in the world. And to do that, it does take a little bit of more work. It does take a little bit of more time. But definitely what we don't want to do is deliver an experience that may be suboptimal for a lot of users, because we may not necessarily have optimized the code on our side as well as we could have. So that's something that we are still currently working on, and that's and I ask you guys who might fall under that list to be a little bit more patient, because we are working as hard as we can to actually make it so that RuneScape is compatible for as many devices as possible.
So just to clarify on top of that point, so obviously where some players have actually had access to it and then suddenly found out today or whatever that they can't access it, is that presumably because we may have found an issue, we don't want them obviously to keep crashing, and then fix that and then get them back into it? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's absolutely true. Again, this experience, what we want to do is make sure that it's optimal, and we want to make sure that what we're presenting here to our user base is worthy of RuneScape and worthy of mobile. But to do that, we want to make sure that the build isn't crashing every 5 minutes. We want to make sure that the frame rates are at least a certain amount, especially when it comes down to you looking at specific landscapes where things might drop because of the objects that are within distance and things like that. This is something that we're constantly working on the tech side of things, and always optimizing as best as possible.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh.
It was my pleasure, Mount Corky.
Thank you very much, Mod.
And this is quite actually an honor this time around, being on the couch with Mod Shauny in this particular day. So I'm very happy to have introduced myself on this particular live stream. And
it's nice to, I mean, especially in the last couple of weeks, we've really started to introduce a lot more people. Like, you've been here a year and a half, and you've yet to obviously, we've had to put a face to the name, or even their name at all. So it's nice that we're having an opportunity to do it as well. So
absolutely. And I'm basically that guy that's been working kind of behind the scenes to ensure that we're delivering the best experience possible. I do want to come on, I do want to be on this couch more often. Have more chats with you guys, especially when it comes down to getting as much feedback as possible to make our mobile build as best as we can make it.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Aww. What's that face, Shauny?
No, it's because we're getting towards the end.
Well, I think we're gonna. Yeah. Do you want to join us as well, JD? Yeah, I feel like we're probably gonna change up the things we have prepared a bit, because I see people waiting outside as well.
Yeah. I should say.
You're just confused, right?
So, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so it literally says end of script.
Yeah.
This lovely tablet.
And we provided Shauny with a script that basically said redacted when we got to this stage. Sorry?
So, well, no, I've got that on here as well. I'll open my laptop.
Which sounds like it's about to take off.
Can you guys hear this on stream? I don't know
if they'll hear the laptop. But
I hope so.
It is a really loud laptop, to be fair.
This is my trademark at Jagex by now, I think.
Okay, I don't know where we're going here. I don't know where this is going.
What I suggest we do is, let me scroll down a bit. First of all, because it is Shauny's birthday, we'll of course maybe be singing later on.
Oh, great. Yes, sure, of course. Why
Yep.
not?
We'll sing,
forward to that.
Oh, my.
because you can't miss out on this party in game, we would like you all to give a piece of cake to the Shauny NPC in game.
As in the go. Oh, you mean the Gobi that has my name?
Yes.
The random Gobi?
Yes, we would like everyone to ask them to give them a cake.
Why?
Something might happen.
Something might happen.
Okay.
I think we'll see it in chat halfway through.
Okay.
Please take screenshots and
Yes.
upload it as soon as you do it, which we'd love to
Exactly.
see your reactions.
You can join on the couch as well if you want.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right.
Shogun, come on, join us.
Come
Join us.
on, you got this.
That peer pressure.
And then we'll get the people. I don't know if do we have actually people queued up there at the moment, Mod John?
What? I'm confused. What have you guys?
go.
Wait, so you guys have put something in game
How many do we have?
I've done it, yes.
Yes.
You did something in game.
I've spent the last 2 weeks on my spare time
All right. Well, shall we get them?
game together with Modisty and
You and Easty put something in game for me.
and Dave and Osborne as well. So there's
Oh God. Okay.
if you find the Gobi, it's a World 12, but I checked already. You can talk to it. It gives a nice little story about Shauny. and
Okay.
and since it's always your birthday,
Yes.
to
Sure.
celebrate his birthday with it, it might share some more things with you as well. So
Well, should we leave it there? Should we leave it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm streaming later, so
Let's say,
I'll have to go.
Shauny's going to run straight upstairs and try this.
No, I'll do it when I
Let's
get
do that
home.
now, otherwise they'll be waiting. All right.
the idol's been mentioned a few times already. So
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Speaking of cake,
Oh,
Is this
what a
actually?
nice
Look at
little
that.
segue. We have got Mod
Oh.
Osborne with a giant cake for you.
A chocolate torte for a Welsh tart.
oh, shall we?
So let's. Can we get the chat to help sing as well?
well done.
Oh, set fire to the streaming room.
Shauny going down in a blaze of glory.
There we go.
There's your.
A cleaver?
Come on, everybody, join us.
Coming in.
Come on.
There you go.
Oh God.
You can sit down if you'd like. There you go.
And I think we should have a
We need to have a countdown for this.
big sing song in 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shauny. Happy birthday to you. And many more. But that's not all the surprises we've got,
of course
is it?
Yeah.
Of course it isn't.
What I suggest is, well, we try to cut this cake. I don't know how we're going to do
Oh,
this.
you've
Or
got
we're
to blow
just
the
gonna leave
candles
it.
out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you have to do that first.
Blow
I
the
think.
candles out, Shauny. Make a wish.
Cringe, man. Honestly.
You
Try not to
did you
set
expect
fire.
anything else? So Mod Niku made this
Mod Niku?
last night.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, you
It's got boiling wax.
I just tipped boiling wax on my leg. Yoik. Well, that's not.
Well, that's going to be awkward to try and explain
I'm
later,
gonna-
isn't it?
Oh God. Okay. Any more?
We've got plenty more.
So we've got plenty more. So we'll
Okay.
start with you probably want to lead this game.
Yeah, so the art community wanted to get involved and give you a send-off, Shauny. So I was messaged by Presleak a couple of weeks ago and said that they wanted to try and give you a nice send-off. So we have a little motion comic for you, which I believe Mod John
Does it have sound, or is it just motion?
It sounds. Oh,
It's like motion. Jesus. Wow. Wow. That was something, wasn't it? Jesus.
So I've got a few thank
Wow.
yous. Few thank yous to and shout outs for that. Oh God,
There's a-
Echo?
suddenly went on loudspeaker then for a second.
Wow.
Most of the animation was done by Zcore with motion graphics from Willoway there. Obviously, Prez has kind of corralled a lot of people into making sure that that's a reality. You saw the little signatures at the end. But while everyone contributed their characters to the shot, Maverick 882 went above and beyond by painting the background for Shauny and his Gobi family. So I think you've got some thank yous, Shauny, to
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus. More?
There is
Keep
more.
going.
So we said we'd like to get Shauny crying 3 times today. We've got him twice so far. Let's try and get him one more time.
Well, yeah, so we'll continue with the other gifts first. There was a Dutch player who sent you a bunch of strip waffles.
Nice. Yes.
These are not all of them. There's a whole box on the way, but it actually got stuck somewhere.
So, yeah, how am I going to get them?
We'll figure that out.
We know where you live, Shauny.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
I can't even get this one.
What?
There's something more.
Okay.
There you go.
There's no addresses on that, is there?
No, I've already taken those
okay,
off.
good.
Have you unwrapped it already? 'Cause
No,
this-
I've left it
Oh,
in
this
a
is going to be
box.
delightfully awkward.
Yeah, that's what we did it on purpose. Do you have a knife or something?
Yeah,
do
I
we have a
And you're leaving me
Do we
like.
have keys?
penknife? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't going there. I ain't going. I've already dropped
move away.
wax on myself. Like, good lord.
It's in a very awkward
Jesus.
place as well.
Wow.
for that.
And we're still not done after this either.
No,
I think.
no.
There's one more thing. I think we might get time for one more thing.
Well, we've got something.
The cryptic talking here, by
I
the
do
way.
think we might want to skip the quiz.
Yeah, I think so.
We had
we
a
might do this at a
lovely-
later time.
Yeah, so we can do that like a different
Yeah.
time. We had a lovely quiz kit prepared to test your knowledge about Mod Shauny.
We might get Shauny as a special guest to do the quiz against you guys on himself,
Yes.
so you can beat him at questions
Oh, boy.
about himself.
Wait, did you not cut this bit here? The important bit.
No, hold on. Oh, you're right.
That's fine.
We do have to say something a bit more.
This
So
is.
did we say who this is from, by the way?
It says it on there.
Okay.
It says it on.
Oh, there's even more glass stuff. There's glass.
Oh, it's
in there.
glass. Oh God. Can I not like make sure I don't go out?
I mean, it is also it is your birthday, Shauny, so expect presents.
How many chain mods does it take indeed?
I don't like you being there with
I
the knife
honestly
so close to
think
me.
you probably should have unpacked this
No,
ahead
I
of time.
thought I was thinking of that, but I was like, I don't know if I'd ever ruin the surprise. So I want to like build up the tension.
This is a surprise for all of us. So
It's a surprise for all of us.
yeah, I don't know what this is. I know who it's from, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. What we got?
Remove that.
It's bubble
somewhere
wrap. We got some bubble wrap,
upstream.
all right. It's a goby.
I mean, it is fragile. They clearly made that very
Try not to
well.
drop it.
See an outline.
That's an outline of a goby. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
this is where I
we're
get
gonna
very.
kill all
This is
the
where I
mics
get
with
very
this.
awkward. Yeah, we might have to kill the microphone because of the bubble wrap. Can we just get?
I'm not
yeah, give
hearing-
me a hand. Yeah.
It's ASMR.
I did this in ASMR chat when Mod Hypnos was on the sofa, so maybe we could combine the two.
Are you able to figure out what this is and from who?
Oh my God. RS Wiki. Jesus. Okay.
Show everyone.
Yes.
That's from the RS Wiki.
From everyone at the RS Wiki. I think the artwork is made by
Oh my
Merds
God.
or Merd RS.
Oh
RS
man.
Merds. There you
No,
go.
those guys are like like the wiki guys are just something else anyway. Like, but wow, wasn't expecting that. That's amazing. Jeez, and there's more.
There is one more thing.
One more
There's
thing.
one more thing.
One more thing. And shall we? I think what we wanted to do, Shauny, was we wanted to send you off with one last hurrah. So we enlisted the help of some people round the office. And I think, John, that's probably a good cue to play the tape.
Oh my God! Don't forget the sound and the play button. And the play button. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, Jesus.
Look at the hair.
Yeah. Kind of GalQuest style.
We had so we did have a sit down discussion the other day, and we got together and we talked about it. And Timbo was going over some of the stuff that's in the quests, and he did have me laughing quite a lot. And it's so.
Right, sorry. That? Right, who am I going to kill over there right now? Because
is that a nutshell?
They're literally. We'll see you on Tuesday for Solak. Take care and have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Oh, you son of a... You've given me a character that's going to make me say a certain word, aren't you? That's what you've wanted from this entire time. Is the character fuck, by any chance? Yeah, exactly. You son of a...
Shauny.
Shauny.
Shorty.
Shauny.
Nah, I don't know.
About who, sorry?
Shauny.
Is that a guy in the canteen?
No clue who that is.
Shauny, who?
Mod Shauny.
I don't really know people's mod names. What's his real name?
Shauny.
Who? Oh, James.
Don't really remember that person, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I work with you, but yeah, I don't really remember that much.
Oh, the next gen guy. What about him?
Oh, God.
It's heartbreaking to see you leave. You've been a fantastic member of the community management team. You have become a fantastic member of Jagex, and you've become a fantastic human being. You have always put the community first, and you've always been the champion for everything that we've wanted to do as a company. So I thank you. I think you are brilliant, and wherever you go, you will be successful. I'm devastated, but I love you, man, and I hope that the future looks very, very rosy for you.
The best thing about working with Shauny is that he is so persistent. Like, we managed to get the perk calculator out there because I turned to him one day and I was like, hey, shall we make perk calculator available to players? And he was like, yeah, of course we would. And he's literally spent like the rest of his day like with the RS Wiki team, and like within like a day or two it was out there and players were like, this is really awesome, like I can't believe you did it. Yeah, it's just Shauny's like enthusiasm and passion has been really awesome, and it's something that we'll really miss.
Thanks, Shauny. Alles Gute. Bonne chance. Obrigada.
Always used to make fun of Shauny, but took him aside one day to just sort of tell him, I'm pretty certain that one day I was going to be reporting into him, and that I was taking the chances I could to make fun of him before he ended up being my boss. I'm still kind of sure that's going to happen one day.
Happy birthday, Shauny. Oh.
Shauny, I love you. I wish you the best of luck. We will miss you. It will not be the same without you here.
Very grateful that he vetted for me when I knocked on the door of Jagex. He vouched for me that I could do a good job. He trained me up, he's been my mentor. And just over the course of these 2 years almost now, it's just been a fun world ride, and it's been amazing.
There is nobody that can get as excited about our content as Shauny. He's like, there is nobody that can put the joy in the little things as Shauny can do.
Shauny, you'll never find where I've hidden your slinky this time.
One of my best memories with Shauny is when he first started in community management, and at one point me, Shauny and Mod EC all went into work at around midnight to sort out some invention issues. And there's been several cases of that. Shauny has messaged me at 2 a.m. in the night shouting about a bug so we can get a hot fix together. So it's been fun memories of late nights of fixing stuff with Shauny.
Shauny, it has been an absolute pleasure working with you. I'm going to miss you, buddy.
Hey Shauny, just wanted to say
thank you for being what I could consider a very genuine and loving RuneScape player. You may log in with an email address, but honestly, from like a really old school RuneScape player, you truly embody what one of them is. And thank you for just being your kind-hearted, loving self. It's genuinely going to be missed.
He has been a light in the office. The thing I'll miss the most is how easy he was to wind up. But I wish him all the best in the future, and I hope he goes very far places.
Shauny, it's been a pleasure to have you on the team. Your energy and enthusiasm and dedication have inspired us all to connect better with our players, and just thinking of the effort you put in to understand the players, to understand the game, to set a high bar, and really has been player obsessed. So I wish you all the best on your next adventure and look forward to our paths crossing again in the future. And until then, take care and have a good one.
I can't.
Give a round of applause, everyone.
Wow. Jesus. My God. Okay. I mean, is there anything else, or are we?
No, I think we've emotionally rinsed you for the day. Oh, that was. Let's ignore that, shall we?
So, yeah, I don't know what more to say, really. Like, I've done this for almost 4 years as RuneScape CM, and I've loved every minute of it. Like, from the people behind me who are absolutely amazing at what they do, are so passionate and so dedicated. I don't think you guys see it enough, because they work their asses off, like, to do everything they can for this game, and they inspire me to do everything I can to make you guys happy or try and fix any issues that come from it. Geez, this was kept a surprise, and I can see why, because, yeah, well, definitely got the reaction it wanted, but, yeah, I don't know what more to say other than, it's been, it's been an incredible almost 4 years here on RuneScape. I've had the opportunity to host these streams almost 4 years as well, month aheads, RuneFests, had much banter with everyone on this couch, everyone upstairs, everyone who inspires me to try and be the best CM I could be for you guys and just try and make it fun, and that is something that I'll never forget, and I loved every single minute of it. You know, I'm not going away on this game. I'm still playing. I've still got achievements I still need to get. I've got 120s archaeology and so on to do. But yeah, I've had an unbelievable almost 6 years here at Jagex, and it's my first job ever in this industry, and you know, they've allowed me to go on and do more things, but I will never forget this. And you know, for all of you watching, you know, I hope I've had some impact in some way, but for everyone here, you're all like amazing, seriously. But yeah, I don't know what more to say other than just thank you. Like, thank you for everything, and it has been, you know, the greatest pleasure to be that person, to hopefully have been the voice for you guys, as well as trying to be the voice for the people behind me who just are amazing at what they do. So I think that apart from that, I think it's the last time I'm going to talk as Mod Shauny, which is weird to say and quite emotional, but it's been the most unbelievable ride. So thank you so much, and as always, take care and have a good one.